Welcome to a presentation of Hive 80, the #1 online community for health, wellness, and medicine. Hi out there, I'm Amy at Hive 80, and I'm here today to discuss a very serious topic, the topic of skin cancer. So I have Matt here with me, who is an active user of Hive80.com, who's here to tell us his story. So welcome, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here today.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you coming here to tell us your story about skin cancer. Now, I know that the statistics for skin cancer are alarmingly high. In fact, 9,500 people get diagnosed with skin cancer every day. And I just don't think that people understand how serious it is. I come from a generation where we didn't do a lot of sunscreen back in the day, and I'm kind of paying the price for it now. But we really want to hear from you because you have a story that, although sounds unique, is probably fairly common. So tell us what happened to you in terms of when you first noticed that something was wrong.
First of all, I'd like to explain my story a little better. I have been on here to Hive 80. I'm an active user of Hive 80. I love the health and wellness part of it, the nutrition. I think I talked about working out. I'm a big advocate of working out, and yes, I like being outside. I am a carpenter by trade, so I think 95% of my 20s and my 30s I was outside working, and I wasn't a big user of sunscreen. My story, I'm 48 years old, okay, and I just went through some Mohs surgery about 2 weeks ago. So first of all, I got drawn to attention with the skin cancer when I was 40. I had a scab that started to develop on my arm, and I thought it was just an everyday scab, but the scab wouldn't heal up. It would break off and would come back. So my primary care doctor recommended that I go over and see a dermatologist. So I went in to the dermatologist to have it checked up, and the first thing she said is, yes, we're going to have to biopsy this one. So that was number one at age 40. She took it off. That one wasn't that big of a problem. They sliced it, they cut it out, and I think they came back and froze it a little bit. That's the common way they get rid of some of these skin tags, is they just freeze them off. So as I started to age a little more, about a year ago, I had some more just frozen off that popped up on my hand, my neck. Nothing big. But around Christmas time this year, I started to notice a little scab on my face, just in time for COVID-19 to shut down. So I didn't think it was that big of a deal, so I just kept an eye on it. But what scared me is this scab started to grow extremely big, extremely fast. So when the shelter at home broke, I was able to get into my primary care, have her look at it. She sent me over to the dermatologist once again to have it looked at. They came in, they biopsied it. By this time it was about the size, I don't know, about a nickel size on my face, and it was pretty nasty looking. So she biopsied it. They called me 2 days later. They said, I have some bad news for you. I think there's 3 grades of skin cancer. I'm starting to learn more and more every day. I was diagnosed with squamous cell skin cancer. She says the procedure to remove this is called Mohs treatment. So I haven't done much reading, so I went to the web and started reading up about Mohs surgery and the procedures they did. So they got me in fairly quick. They went in, and let me tell you, Mohs surgery isn't very pleasant. Mohs surgery consists of them cutting it out, a big chunk, taking a blowtorch to your face to stop the bleeding, going back in the back room, testing the sample that they cut out to make sure that they got everything cut out. If they don't, they come back in and cut a little more out. I went through 3 procedures because the skin cancer had traveled so deeply in the face. After the 3rd one, they came back and said, you are cancer free. After going through this ordeal, I have immediately jumped online, and I wanted to get the word out there that wearing sunscreen is for real. Since the Mohs surgery, in the last 2 weeks, I've had more skin tags pop up because of my lack of use of sunscreen. You know, back in my 20s, you know, you'd hear people say you need to put on sunscreen. I didn't take it seriously.
Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't take it seriously either. And, you know, I come from a time where we actually put baby oil on our skin, and we would lay on reflective towels and blankets to like expedite the tanning process, and we always turned out beet red.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I don't know. And my mom would caution me to wear sunscreen, you know, but I think not enough, because back then we still didn't realize the harmful effects that would come to us as we aged.
Yeah, I'm going to be 49 next week, and I have been informed by the dermatologist that I'm going to have to come in every 6 months and have a full body scan for skin cancer. After doing some reading, I have learned so much about application of sunscreen that I had no idea.
I hear you. And I've also heard that you got to have something that's like 30, and they want you to have zinc in it. So that's kind of the next thing. I know zinc is a little heavier, a little whiter, and kind of waxier, but, you know, hey, it's worth it to wear that. Now, you know, I'm also wondering, the good news here is that 99% of skin cancer can be cured if caught early. So it's a good thing you're going in every 6 months. And, you know, I actually, after hearing your story, decided to take action on my own, and I have undergone a full body skin cancer screening. And I'm glad to report that there was nothing of significance to worry about. So I am one that needs to go back for a check every year. So I've done that research. Now I can see the wound that's healing on your face. Can you turn that way a little bit more? And that, yeah, it looks like he has stitched it up. It's healing well. What did he say about a scar?
He said there's going to be minimal scar, but it is going to scar because of the depth that they had to slice out because of this skin cancer. Traveled so fast. Within 3 months, it grew, I'd say maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Before I had it biopsied out.
Yeah, there are 3 different types. There's the basal, the squamous, and the melanoma. So you have had the squamous here in this one.
I've had actually the first 2.
Okay.
The first one was what was it? Not squamous.
Yeah, basal. Okay,
basal.
I think basal's the most common, and they
Yes.
tend to be the ones they freeze off.
Freeze off.
It's the deeper ones that go with the Mohs surgery. Yeah, and so, you know, I'm also curious in terms of the scarring. I just want to say to everyone, don't forego getting your skin checked because you're worried about scars, because that is just minimal concern. And with the stuff they can do nowadays, they can really help heal a scar, so it's worth it. A couple other statistics I wanted to go over with, because I know I used a tanning bed. Did you use a tanning bed?
I did. Unfortunately, I did. The health club that I used to belong to in my early 20s, that was one of the perks of the club.
Yeah.
Was you could use a tanning bed.
Yeah.
And I grew up in the Midwest, and the winters were long, so I sat in the tanning bed. I don't know what I was thinking, because I'm so fair-skinned.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. I didn't think about the consequences. I didn't think about the consequences building houses without a shirt on in the middle of summer. Now, I'm glad some of these clothing companies, I'm going to put a shout out to Patagonia, I'm wearing one today, that has UV built into their shirts. So most of the shirts that I'm going to purchase is got the UV protection built into it.
You know, fantastic. Like, what other things? You're using sunscreen, the shirts, what about hats and other things?
Yeah, you know, unfortunately I lost my hair. But that's one thing I'm doing also is I wear a hat when I go out in the sun.
Good to know.
I really do. After this last Mohs surgery, I'm kind of scared of the sun. It's that strong. And I hope these younger people, because I know everybody's indestructible in their 20s and think it will never happen to me. And I thought the same thing. This skin cancer is for real. The sun is getting stronger. We have screwed up our ozone, and it scares me. It really does. And that's why I came here to sit down and talk on this podcast, because it scares me. And you know, I hope I don't have more consequences in the future because of my actions as a 20-year-old. So please put on sunscreen. Limit. You do need a little sun in your diet for the vitamin D, and but please be careful.
Yeah, wear your sunscreen. I mean, you know, we appreciate your insight and sharing. As far as the tanning bed goes, they say if you've used a tanning bed before the age of 35, that you have a 75% increased risk of melanoma. I mean, that's heavy. And then you've got another stat out there that I read, that use of tanning beds will give you skin cancer more quickly than smoking gives you lung cancer.
Yeah.
So this is some scary stuff. So, you know, once again, Matt, we really appreciate you coming here to tell us your story. I hope everyone can learn from this. And again, wear your sunscreen. Wear it.
Wear your sunscreen. And I'm going to put a shout out to the Hive. That's why the Hive is here, health and wellness. I think it's very important as we progress.
Yeah, well, we really appreciate your story and your sharing with us. And we really appreciate you coming on to Hive 80. So, all right. And I hope everyone has a great day. And thanks for listening. For more information like this and free exclusive videos, podcasts, and downloads, please join us at hive80.com/Hivecast, the #1 online community for health, wellness, and medicine.